That's going to move the needle. I love that phrase. You use that phrase all the time.
I do it all the time. It doesn't mean, we don't need the whole thing. We don't need 10,000 RPMs.
Right.
We just need 500.
Right.
Just move
what is
the
it?
needle.
There's that like 1%. If you can be 1% better each day. I truly believe that a strong plan for your day makes a strong week, makes a strong month, and makes a strong year. And so I feel like the most successful people take the few minutes that it takes to plan your day. Okay.
So therefore, I was constantly chasing appointments, which is a recipe for disaster.
What we've been talking about is more an organizational style of planning. Now we want to get into the point of like, how can I be most productive with the hours that I have today, right?
Yep.
Welcome to the Lasting Business Solutions Podcast, Indy's launchpad to sustain business success, growth, and leadership. My name's Renee Lucas, and I am your host. Guys, it is a new year, and so I thought that today would be a great time to talk about the importance of planning your day and planning your week. You know, really planning sets you up for success for not only the day and the week, but the month and the year. So joining me today to talk a little bit about planning is my husband and co-owner of LCS Heating and Cooling, Travis Lucas. Welcome
probably
back.
Should be a perfect one for me on planning. So thanks for having me.
Yeah. So Travis, let's dive in because people are like, wait, what does that mean? So Travis, I think some people are natural planners and some people aren't. Would you say planning your day comes naturally to you?
Not naturally.
Okay.
It's actually hard. It's like pulling teeth.
It's really hard. You know, it's funny because for me in our business professional life, planning is pretty easy for me, and I do it, and I want my week to be planned. In our personal lives, I'm more of like a let's see what today brings, whatever. And so I think it's okay to be different, but when we're going to be talking about work today, right? And so as a business owner, as a leader, why is it important to plan your day and plan your week?
Well, I mean, from experience, you have a lot of fires through the day.
Yeah.
And I think part of the problem is the whole time, and it's not a problem, but through my career of HVAC, we go to a house and we have to solve the problem. So you can't really plan. Yeah. So the planning is you get there and you figure it out. So that's why I don't think probably a lot of blue collar workers, they're there to solve a problem. So you can't plan because you don't know what you're getting into. So that's a little bit of a hurdle.
You know, it's funny because we've talked over the years, because as we've had conversations and you've said like, it's not easy for me to plan my day for the reasons that you just said. Whereas for me and my role in the company, it's definitely different, right?
Yeah.
Now, I think, and this is something we've talked about over the years, my opinion, I think a day can be planned with the mindset that we might need a little flexibility in it and we might have to pivot when those things come up, right?
Yeah, excuse me, my role has changed, therefore I can look at it that way now, but before I didn't have that luxury or the flexibility. So yeah, I see what you're saying. It definitely, and I'll be honest, it has changed in the last year for me planning because I am not rushed into a situation now like I used to be.
So I'm totally going to play devil's advocate here.
Here we go.
Because I think too, when business owners and leaders live by like fires and chaos, it falls into other things, right? So for example, if you have a day where you're just going, and you're from job to job to job, and you're doing this, that, and the other, when you do have a minute, you don't have anything planned on what you're going to do with that time. And so what tends to happen from my observations.
Hold on. So, and you've been writing with me?
I know. But what tends to happen then is we don't know what to do with that time.
It's true.
And so then we either don't use it wisely, we're not productive, we don't get anything done, we do stupid things, right? Like we scroll through our email or something, or we scroll through social media or something, which is even worse, right? Or we create something else to do. And the example I'm going to give for years, you don't do this anymore, but for years, you're like, oh, I need to go pick up a check from somebody. That is the biggest waste of time. You should not be driving around picking up checks from people. There is something called the U.S. Postal Service, number one, or there's something called credit cards, number two. But what I'm saying is I think that you would use, like you would just fill your time because you didn't have a plan.
Yeah. I'd agree.
Okay.
But then
okay.
somehow the check would get lost in the mail.
It equally got lost in your truck a couple times too. So
That has happened.
I know. So let's think about what's changed a little bit, right? So I truly believe that a strong plan for your day makes a strong week, makes a strong month, and makes a strong year. And so I feel like the most successful people take the few minutes that it takes to plan your day, right? Now, you'll see me with this everywhere I go. You always see this with me.
You will not see me with that.
No, because our systems aren't the same,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's okay. And to remember that like what works for me may not work for you. What works for you may not work for somebody else, right? How did you find, so for me, my to-do list is in here. And I use this for mostly business, but I take notes from meetings. Everything lives in here. And then I use my phone calendar for things like appointments and meetings and things like that. How did you find, because over the years, you've tried different systems.
I've tried everything.
You have. What works for you right now?
Now it's the calendar, because at the office they kept talking about my appointments.
Yeah.
Not my appointments, but say Dylan's appointments, they're in his Outlook.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
What's Outlook?
where's this Outlook calendar? Because I need to be told what I've got next coming up.
Yes.
Or I need to add it into the Outlook calendar. So I tried the book. The problem is I'd end up misplacing the book at home.
Yeah.
Or in my truck or in my backpack. And then I'm like, oh,
Well, this is stupid.
that's
This doesn't
dumb. That's
work.
not, and
Yeah.
not to mention, I don't have the best handwriting. So I go back to my notes. I'm like, well, what did I even write down? So I'm like, that won't work.
Yeah.
So then I switched to a very basic notes in my phone. And then, but that got lost in the shuffle of everything I do, because I was putting everything in there: job notes, appointments,
Grocery list.
grocery list.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
then I finally got the Outlook calendar on my phone, and that is what's changed me.
You know what's so funny is we're talking about an Outlook calendar like it's something new.
I know.
It's new to you. It's not new to
I am
everybody
not.
else.
I'm not on social media.
I know.
I struggle with Excel.
But
I
here's the
struggle
thing.
with all of that. So
It doesn't matter if you have all these resources. If you don't use them,
Yeah.
then, and that's the thing for you, right? You
now,
can
yeah,
never use
and it truly is my lifeline now.
Yeah. Now, I will say, I see you setting alarms on your phone as well, like multiple alarms. What's that for?
To alert me that my Outlook's going to tell me where to go. So, because really
Check your
important,
Outlook.
well, yes, really important meetings I don't want to miss.
Yeah. You can set notifications in your calendar as well.
Yeah, I looked at that last night and I couldn't find it, so I just, like I closed the book, I closed my phone. So
I'll help you with that
I looked
later,
for
yes.
notifications, dings in my phone, couldn't find it.
Yeah. There's a way to do that. I'll show you.
Well, I understand that.
But I've seen you like use Siri and you'll say like, hey Siri, remind me to call so-and-so at 2:00 tomorrow afternoon. And how many reminders like by alarm might you have in a day?
Oh, there's probably, I probably have 30 different times in my phone.
Right. And that works pretty well.
It does. Because it triggers something, that noise. That, like
Yeah.
I said, I want Outlook to trigger a noise. Well,
Yeah.
my alerts trigger the noise, and there I'm like, oh, I've got an appointment at 12 o'clock. Because I got it set for anywhere between an hour and 2 hours before.
Right.
Because if I'm on the wrong side of town, at least I got a buffer. That's why.
That's a great idea. Now, I think too, for somebody like you who you're constantly moving, like it does not work for you to stay in one place all day, right? So even if I said, hey, you and I need to sit down and work together today, we are usually going to plan our meetings in like 30-minute increments. And then you can move on, do something else, come back later, that sort of thing.
Yeah, you have to have grace and flexibility for
Yeah.
people whose brains work differently.
Absolutely.
So-
Absolutely. And it's very, like we say, like there's some ADHD in that brain of yours,
Yeah.
right? And so that's true. Like know who you're working with, know who you are and what your limitations are. Because that's the other thing is if you plan your day and you're not realistic with your time and what your capacity is for that, you'll fail.
Oh, yeah. And I talked to Dylan a few weeks ago about appointments.
Yeah.
Austin would call me and go, hey, are you on your way to your 2 o'clock? And it's like 2:05. I'm like, what appointment? I never had the Outlook set up.
Okay.
So therefore, I was constantly chasing appointments, which is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. So how did you get in the habit? So being somebody who has not been a strong planner for your day, right? How did you get into a self-discipline routine to use it and to check it?
Well, probably this probably sounds really dumb, but when I was inputting receipts
Yep.
to our finance manager, scanning them in, made me get on my phone through email.
Okay.
And
so
that's
it was something
where it
else.
started.
It was another task.
It was another task.
That got you in the habit of being on there.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the Outlook calendar, now I just check it in the morning. Where am I going to be at?
Right.
Now, if it's not on that Outlook calendar, I'm in trouble because now I've got to go to Service Titan to see if there's any booked appointments, which that's not in there. So
right. And I will say, when you create some sort of way to track your day and plan your day, keep it in one place. Right? Because you had a little bit here and a little bit there. You had some in your phone. You had some in our company software. You had some in Outlook. You had some in your email. You had an alarm randomly set, but that was chaos, right? Your system was chaos, which then resulted in a chaotic day, right? Now, let's talk a little bit about the difference between working in your business and working on your business. All right? So working in your business is exactly what you're just talking about, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Going from job to job to job. It's all the day-to-day things, the little fires that pop up, all of these other things.
Yeah.
Working on your business is the way that you're going to create efficiencies and processes and systems in your business so that you don't have so many little fires throughout the day, right? So that's just one example. But if we can get to the point to where we're solving the problems, the little fires, we won't have so many of those, and then you'll have more time. So Travis, now that we've talked a little bit about establishing your own system, like here's mine, we just went through what's really working well for you. What has it changed your day-to-day at all, or what have you found by kind of having this system to track the appointments, the meetings, the things that you have to do, the task in your day?
Probably the number one thing that it changed was less anxiety.
Oh, that's huge.
Of when I'm not planning it and whatever that plan was. Yeah. I wait till the hour of, and then I'm scrambling. So that's what's changed me. It's gotten the anxiety down. In turn, the small fires.
Do you feel like then, with kind of a lesser amount of small fires, do you feel like you have more time in your day? Do you feel like your day's more organized? You just said less anxiety, so maybe a little calmer?
It's definitely calmer. There's more time in the day.
Okay.
I'm not sure it's less organized yet.
You're working on it.
But there's more time in the day to actually start when we go back to working on the business instead of in the business. Yeah. The number one thing that probably my largest role in the company is making sure we're priced right. Not too high, not too low.
That's working on the business.
Kind of like the three little bears.
Yeah.
So
right in the middle.
With that time, I'm able to jump into the numbers as opposed to wait until the evening or wait until the morning. So that time I get back during the day, as long as nothing like emergency pops up.
Sure.
I don't have to worry about the anxiety because I know that appointment's coming at 2:00. I've already planned for it. Therefore, I'm not scrambling.
Okay. I love what you said, because I think so many business owners can relate to this. Is, as I've worked with business owners, and we've talked about all these things that we need to do to work on the business. So a lot of it is financial related, building processes and building systems with them. And they were like, when am I supposed to do this? Right? And until you get a plan like this, it is going to be in the evenings, and it is going to be really early in the mornings and on the weekends. Yep. That's not ideal. We don't want that to last forever. So this is how you get more time during the day.
There's time out there.
There is. What we've been talking about is more an organizational style of planning. Now we want to get into the point of like, how can I be most productive with the hours that I have today? Right? Yep. So when we talk about daily and weekly planning, it's looking at our week. I had been setting myself up for failure for a long time. I'd say years, wasn't years, but a long time, because I had too many things that I had on my list to work on and not enough hours in the day. I was underestimating the time it would take me to complete these tasks that I wanted to do. So that would be like, say that you wanted to check some pricing with some vendors. Realistically, it takes an hour to do that, but you had only planned for 30 minutes. So each time you're not going to get done, and then your anxiety is going to come back up because you still have this to do. It didn't get checked off your list. You feel like you're in a rush. You got to hurry to the next thing.
Then you push it to the next day, and your day's already full.
Yep. And then it goes the next day, and then the next week, and the next month. Yep. We talk all the time with our managers. If you don't have a strong plan, a day goes by, a week goes by, a month goes by, years go by, and we've done nothing differently than what we're doing right now. Right? So looking at how to be productive. Now, you've talked about one of the roles that you have in the business is really making sure that we're priced correctly. I think that's a really important point to make for business owners, is to establish what your role is. I mean, do you have a job description for yourself? Do you know what you're supposed to be doing besides fielding calls and everything else, or running to calls, or covering for somebody that's on vacation or something like that, right? So besides pricing, name a couple of other things that is in your wheelhouse in our business.
Well, mentoring the managers, especially service and install.
Yep, absolutely.
Helping them make that next step.
Yep.
Making sure they don't make the missteps that I did.
Yeah.
So
teaching them from experience.
That's a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly thing that keeps going.
Absolutely. Building out our training room.
Yeah, building out a training room. So the things that move, what I call moving the needle.
Yeah.
Getting the wheel rolling. Things that really are important as far as the actual in the field process stuff. That's what I'm doing a lot of the times. So
say that you have a training plan with a manager or doing a ride along. How many hours might you need for that?
That could be an all day thing, because what we do, I'm guilty of it. I say I don't have enough time in the day, and the way to find that out is to do a ride along.
Right.
And because I am guilty of wasting time.
Everybody is. Everybody is. Yes.
And everyone will tell you they don't have enough time.
Right.
A ride along will show that. So that truly helps.
So if you've got something now, doing a ride along with a manager is totally working on the business. That's not working in the business. That's working on the business. Yeah. But that may take an entire day, because you may be with them all day, right? So then when you're planning your week, you're going to know, okay, Wednesday this week, I've got this ride along. I can't plan to work on our training room. I can't plan to prepare for a meeting. I can't plan to check vendor pricing. I can't plan to do all these things, right? I can't jump on a meeting with the company that's rebuilding our price book. Like, I can't do those things on Wednesday. So let me look at what other days I can, right? When we don't plan for that, what happens is it doesn't get scheduled, because we get there and we're like, oh, I can't do it today. Yeah. I'm tied up all day today, and Thursday and Friday is already booked up, and now we're already into next week.
Yep.
Right? So looking at your task for working on the business, the first thing to do is to identify what your role is and what it is that you're working on right now. Sometimes you're going to need to pick one. Like, we just rattled off 3 things that you're working on right now. Those are major things. Yeah. Right? Pick one. Start somewhere, especially if you're in the day-to-day all the time and you're not taking the time right now to work on the business. Yep. Okay, that's going to move the needle. I love that phrase. You use that phrase all the time.
I do all the time. I mean, it doesn't mean we don't need the whole thing. We don't need 10,000 RPMs.
Right.
We just need 500.
Right.
Just move the needle.
There's that like 1%. If you can be 1% better each day.
I think the biggest hurdle is people look at that schedule, looking ahead, building a process, making sure you're planned correctly. They look at it and that phrase, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, because everyone looks at it as, I can't take this thing on.
No, it's too big.
And I still do that today. I'm like, well, where do I start?
Right.
So
many times it's literally like pencil and paper, right? We've got all these tools and all these resources at our disposal. The easiest thing for you and I is to sit down and like write it out, right? We're going to start with this, then we're going to move to this. Here's what it's going to take. Most of our projects are 3-month projects or more. So when we're working on the business, like, there's not a lot of like daily tasks that you and I have to do with the day-to-day anymore. It's projects. And if you don't stay on top of that, man, we have this 3-month project. If we're not tracking each step that we should be doing each week, and then getting down to where I'm going to work on it in this 2-hour time block on Thursday this week, and I'm going to stick to it, right? That's the other thing. You can't just schedule over it. You got to stick to it. Then all of a sudden that 3-week project turns into, that 3-month project turns into 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. Well, we might as well not do it anymore because it's not even relevant. Yeah. Right? All right. So let's talk about this. Who needs to know about time that you have set aside to work for or on the business? Who needs to know about time that you have set aside to work on the business? So say
specifically at our company.
Yeah, like, let's just use our company as an example, right? Say you're going to take 2 hours to work on the training room. Who needs to know that? Does anybody?
Well, yes. O'Neill would need to know, because he's in sales. Sometimes there's some technical questions that need to be answered. Dylan sometimes needs me to do a ride along with him on a job site visit.
Yeah.
Travis Ross, not as much, because I don't I still help in service, but not as much.
Yep.
Austin would need to know in case a special call comes in.
For scheduling purposes.
Scheduling purposes.
Yeah.
And then pretty much the office.
Yeah.
So
I think that's another area that's great that business owners make the mistake of is they plan this and then they don't tell pertinent people that they've planned it, and that's how things get scheduled over.
Yeah.
Right. And so we've been guilty of that before. Is we'll have something, and then the only people that know are ourselves. And so take Austin, who might, he schedules for calls for you, or he schedules things for you, or special things, or whatever. So then what happens is that's open in your calendar. And so he scheduled it, and you're like, oh, that's when I was supposed to work on the training room.
Yeah.
I don't have any other time this week. And now all of a sudden, it's on to next week already, just because we didn't communicate. Yeah. Right.
Now, sometimes I go hide and I do those projects. Don't tell anybody. Yes. Because they don't know I'm there.
I know. And that's okay too. That's okay too. I think the other thing too is to treat the task that you're doing to work on your business, task, projects, whatever, just like any other important meeting that you have. And so there was this guilt, I think, that you went through for a long time, because when you're working on the business and there are so many things to work on, but a lot of people don't understand that. They don't see it. They don't know what it is. They don't know why it's important. And so it's this like guilt of like, I should be out there. I should be on a job. I should be in the field. I should be running a sales call. I should be doing something, right? Yeah. And then there's this feeling of like guilt or insecurity or self-doubt or something that comes in, and then you make up a reason why you are out there picking up checks. Right?
I haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah, I know. I keep using it. So. It's my favorite one to use because it's so ridiculous.
Well, I don't know about that.
Come on. It's so ridiculous. It's such a waste of time, right? So Travis, we've always said, I think the way that helped you work through this is we had always said, if you had an appointment with a client, you would never cancel that, right? Treat this just like it's the client is your business. It's all of your employees, right? And so treat that just as importantly as you would a client meeting. If you set aside 2 hours in the day, there's 6 other hours to work with. Right? And you don't think about that. And for business owners, honestly, there's probably like 10 other hours to work with.
Yes. Yeah, we squeeze more than 24 hours in a day.
I swear we do. Yes. Business owners, leaders, you find a way to do it. Now, the third thing that I'll say about really planning to work on the business is as a leader, you are, whether you mean to or not, you're training other people. So other people, when they are like, take our management team, they're learning from us, and they learn all of our bad habits just like they do all of our good habits.
Yes.
And we've seen him. I've seen Dylan sometimes before. The way he runs around, I was like, oh my God, you are Travis back in the day, right? But you think he's been watching you for 10 years and he does it like you, right? So what do you think, seeing if they see you plan your day, plan tasks that you're gonna do, see you working on projects and on the business, because management level positions are also going to be working on the business. Oh yeah. Right? How do you teach that?
It's a really good question. You have to be disciplined.
Yeah.
You have to be dedicated.
Yeah.
You have to break the mold that you've been in for years.
Yeah.
So
it's hard.
Being diligent, being direct, knowing exactly what you're going to do and train on, and not just off the hip.
Yeah.
So
quit winging it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wing it a lot, and I try not to.
Well, we all do though, right? And what's the reason, the number one reason that you wing things? Time. Well, I didn't have time to plan for it.
Yeah, but a lot of time in my case, when I say I didn't have time, it was wasted.
It was wasted because we didn't plan and we didn't know what we were working on.
It goes back to planning. It goes back to my Outlook calendar, what was on there. So it all goes back to planning.
Yeah.
Every bit of it.
And I think the next step too is actually planning in your calendar so that you can see these times that we're talking about and the actual task, right? So say you are meeting with a manager at 8 a.m. and then you have some sort of appointment at 10 a.m. and then you decide at 1 p.m. from 1 to 2:30, you're going to work on pricing. That should actually go into your calendar as a time that is set and is dedicated. That way everybody else sees
big, do not disturb.
Yes, yes. I am doing this, right? Like this is just as important as anything else that I do throughout the day. When we talk about, let's talk about pricing. If that's a task that's working on the business, if we don't take the time to work on those things, not only does it affect profitability, right? But then also our team doesn't understand what our pricing is or what it's supposed to be, right? Maybe there's promotions that we're running. Nobody knows what those are. Are they even in the company software for people to use? I mean, it's just a trickle down effect when we don't take the time to work on these big projects.
All because you didn't plan.
Yeah, all because you didn't plan it. So my recommendation is to take a few minutes at the end of every single day and plan for the next day.
Or early in the morning. I get up early. I get up early.
Yeah. So morning's best for you.
4:30 to 5 o'clock. I get up. My first thing is I'd leave the lights. I don't like lights on, so I leave lights off. Make my coffee and I pull my calendar up. What do I have today? Because I used to not do that.
Doesn't it help you get in kind of the right mental headspace for the day too?
Keep blood pressure down.
It does, because you know, like, okay, this is what I have.
This is what I'm. And
yeah.
in so many words, this is what I'm up against today. Good or bad. I mean, those are my words. It's good or bad. This is what I'm up. This is what I got to knock down off my list. As opposed to 10 o'clock rolls around. Oh, I have an appointment. Didn't know about it.
Right.
12 o'clock. I had an appointment. Didn't know about it, because that just sets me into a spiral.
Right. That's true. Yeah. And I will say, when you're in a spiral like that, there is no chance of you getting anything productive done outside of like meetings and appointments.
And then I'm short on the phone.
Yeah, I am.
And I don't mean it to be, but I'm short on the phone because now I've put myself behind the 8 ball. No one else did it.
You
Just
know what?
myself.
Whose fault is it?
Mine.
It's always our fault.
Yep.
It is. It's always our fault as business owners and leaders. It is always our fault. It starts right here. So whether it's at the end of the day, whether it's first thing in the morning, whatever it is, take some time to plan your day, right? Now, I like to start either end of day Friday or even on a Sunday, and I'll make a plan for my week. It'll be a little loose in there sometimes. And then the night before, at the end of the day, I'll look and really plug in to place what I'm going to be working on. Yeah. You are more of you're not really a week planner. You're more of a day-to-day.
I'm day-to-day because jobs can get dropped on me at any point.
Sure.
So therefore, I can't plan a week out.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fine. It's just the flexibility. Yeah. Now, what we do plan on, though, is our projects that we have. And then in our personal lives, things like time to exercise. For me, I'll work right through meals. And so I actually plan in times in my planner of when I'm going to eat lunch and making sure that we take the time to cook dinner and have dinner as well, right? So that's just as important, is making sure that you have the time for yourself and your health, as well as everything work related in here. If you have kids' schedules, everything else that can go in there. But what are we doing to work on the business this week, right? Yes. And then where am I going to plug that in? So for you, say we're talking about that training room, man, I know this week I want to get the equipment together for one new cart, right? And so sometime in your days in this week, you're going to make time to talk to one of our vendors about getting some equipment for that cart, right? That's working on that project. It gets that checked off, and then we move into the next week ready to go with the next step of that project. Yeah. Okay. So the big takeaways right here: find a system that works for you. It's different for everybody. Look at that calendar and plan your priorities. By priorities, I mean, what are you doing to work on the business? Plan that for the week, and then take a look at it every single day, tweak, plug in. Anything that didn't get done today, figure out where it's going to go in the next couple of days so that it doesn't get lost. Remember, if you don't take the time to plan, other people might be learning your bad habits. And then this is how, unfortunately, business owners get stuck in being in a rut week after week after month after year after year, right? And so take the time for yourself. It's so important. All right. Well, I hope those were some great takeaways for you. Thank you for joining me on the Lasting Business Solutions podcast.